Hello, my name is Dennis Halandzovskyi. Late night TV just became ground zero in America's free speech fight. ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel live off the air after the host's remarks about the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Within hours, protests formed outside the Hollywood studio. Station groups balked at carrying the show, and a top federal regulator warned broadcasters about garbage content. Here's the CNN-style rundown: what happened, why it matters, and what to watch next. If you find this useful, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. And thank you to all of Ukraine's partners for your continued help and support. What we know so far: the trigger. Kimmel referenced the killing of Charlie Kirk during a Utah campus event. His monologue and social posts drew immediate fire from pro-Trump commentators and some affiliates. The network move. Disney-owned ABC suspended the show indefinitely. Multiple affiliates signaled they wouldn't air it pending review. Production stopped while the network evaluated standards and safety. The regulator angle. The FCC chair publicly blasted stations for airing trash, hinting at license scrutiny, a rare shot across the bow that spooked risk-averse broadcasters. The industry reaction. Writers and actors guilds condemned the suspension. Several late-night hosts and showrunners warned that advertiser and regulator pressure is chilling satire. The politics. The episode landed amid a broader clash between the White House and major media platforms, feeding a narrative that critical voices are being punished while allies are rewarded. Why it matters. Precedent. When affiliates refuse carriage and regulators posture in public, executives default to caution. That sets a template for future pullbacks whenever political heat rises. Elections context. Late night has been a prime venue for political critique since Jon Stewart's era, sidelining one of the biggest hosts who reshapes that ecosystem on the eve of high-stakes votes. Public trust. If audiences think satire is being muzzled by government pressure or advertiser fear, cynicism spikes, and that's a win for actors who thrive in information chaos. What happens next? ABC decides whether this is a timeout, a format tweak, or a hard exit. Affiliates weigh liability versus ratings. Congress members float hearings. Court challenges test the line between corporate discretion and state pressure. Bottom line, a corporate standards call just collided with First Amendment politics, and the shockwave runs far beyond one studio lot. Here's the structure behind the fight, and the questions viewers should ask. Point A. Free speech versus broadcast standards. The First Amendment restricts government censorship. Private networks can cancel shows. The line blurs if state pressure, threats about licenses, investigations, effectively coerces a private decision. That's why legal analysts focus on the process. Did ABC act independently for brand safety reasons, or in response to explicit regulatory threats? Point B, affiliate power and advertiser risk. Late night depends on local stations. If a dozen big market affiliates refuse carriage, a national show can't survive. Brands flee when controversy touches violence or tragedy. CPMs drop, bookers cancel, insurance costs rise. The result is a cascade where business logic, not just politics, drives a suspension. Point C, the FCC question. The Commission regulates indecency and licensing, not jokes. But public threats from a chair or commissioner can chill speech even without a formal order. Expect media law groups to probe whether comments crossed into viewpoint discrimination. Point D, the late night ecosystem. Kimmel's bench, writers, producers, crews goes dark. Guest pipelines shift to competitors or streaming. Bookers calculate risk. A guest slot that used to be a routine promo becomes a political statement. Rival hosts decide whether to fill the gap with sharper monologues or steer clear. How to read coverage like a pro. Ask for timestamps and transcripts of the monologue at issue. Separate corporate statements, legalese, from regulatory remarks, leverage. Follow the money, affiliate carriage, add holds, make good obligations, and insurance riders. Watch unions. When WGA SAG issue sharp statements, studios notice. Why this matters for allied democracies. Authoritarian actors exploit cancel versus censorship confusion to claim Western hypocrisy. A calm, rules-first response, defend satire, condemn violence, insist on facts, strengthens the transatlantic information space. Bottom line, the case isn't just can a network nix a show, it's who nudged whom, with what power, and where's the paper trail. The politics and the stakes in 3 layers. Layer 1, the Trump factor. The White House has attacked critical outlets and praised those aligned with its messaging. Lawsuits against major newsrooms signal a harder edge posture. Allies across media and tech have amplified the narrative that legacy networks are biased, reframing platform moderation as censorship and regulator threats as accountability. Kimmel's removal, coming right after the Utah shooting and amid national grief, gives culture war entrepreneurs a high-octane storyline. Layer 2, the Hollywood pushback. Guilds and showrunners say satire is being chilled by government intimidation, not just advertiser skittishness. Expect solidarity moves, joint cold opens, coordinated statements, possibly live shows, or digital specials in support of late night's editorial independence. Look for A-list guests to migrate to platforms that promise fewer constraints, premium cable, streaming, or creator-led live streams. Layer 3, the legal lane. Civil liberties groups will test whether regulatory saber-rattling amounts to state action influencing a private suspension. Broadcasters will lawyer up on license security while arguing the suspension was a business call. If discovery ever opens, emails and phone logs between regulators, network brass, and affiliates could redefine the narrative. How to keep perspective. Satire's role is to punch up, hold power to account, and process national trauma without dehumanizing victims. Editorial mistakes can and should be corrected, with apologies, standards reviews, and better guardrails, not with political retribution. Pluralism means shows you dislike still get to air. The remedy for bad speech is more speech, not force. What viewers can do: support journalism and satire you value, reward accountability, not outrage bait. Challenge misinformation cycles, ask for primary sources. Keep the focus on the rules. Independent regulators, transparent policies, and corporate decisions free of government coercion. Bottom line, this is a stress test of American media independence, and the outcome will echo in every democracy fighting disinformation. What happens next? A forward-looking checklist. Network decision points. Does ABC set a return date with conditions, move to a guest host or panel format, or sunset the franchise? Watch for language like path to return, standards review, and affiliate consultation. Affiliate calculus. Big market stations will signal early. If New York, LA, Chicago affiliates commit, the show lives. If they balk, the numbers don't pencil. Regulatory posture. Does the FCC walk back the rhetoric, open inquiries, or keep pressure high? Formal notices would escalate. A quiet period would hint at de-escalation. Legal filings. Expect letters from media law groups seeking records on regulator network contacts. Lawsuits could challenge viewpoint-based interference. Industry realignment. Streamers may court Kimmel-style content with looser guardrails. Rivals may carve out sharper monologues to capture his audience. Advertiser behavior. Blue-chip brands typically return once uncertainty lifts. If boycotts harden, look for new sponsors in tech and DTC categories. Civic temperature. Protests versus counter-protests. Outside studios are a risk signal. City permits and police posture show whether tempers are cooling. How to track the story like a newsroom. Hard data, affiliate carriage lists, ad load minutes, ratings for temporary replacements, and any license actions. Primary statements, network memos to staff, FCC bulletins, union communiques, and on-record quotes from station groups. Context tape. Compare this moment with earlier flashpoints, post 9/11 cancellations, 2000s advertiser boycotts, and recent platform bans. What it means for the bigger map. Democracies need robust satire and robust standards. Both, not either or. The guardrail is simple. No political office should strong-arm editorial decisions, and no studio should outsource its spine to whoever yells loudest online. For allies watching from Europe and beyond, the health check is whether institutions can depressurize the moment without shrinking the space for critique. Final thought. Audiences are smart. They can handle tough jokes and tough corrections. The test is whether leaders, in government, in studios, and on stages, choose rules, facts, and restraint over revenge and spectacle. Please subscribe and like to help more people find clear, verified updates. And thank you to all of Ukraine's partners for your continued help and support.